All right, I guess we are live. So we'll wait for some people to join. And I'm sorry, I think the last live got wrong for some reason. So in this video, in this live session, we are going to learn the present perfect tense, which is in fact one of the most common tenses out there. So we'll start talking about present perfect tense and we'll wait for some people to join. But meanwhile, I would appreciate if the people who have already joined make some sentences with present perfect tense. All right. So, how does a sentence in present perfect look like? Can you try to make a sentence in present perfect tense in the live chat in the comment section? And then, obviously, we'll discuss the sentence structure of present perfect tense and how and where to use them. I hope I'm audible. Can you guys hear me? Hello? Great. Thanks, Meghna. Thanks. All right. So I think we'll start with present perfect tense now. Uh, Present perfect tense is a tense where we use has and have. Okay. And obviously, it's a part of present tense, and that's why it's called present perfect tense. And the idea is that we use has and have, and after that, we use the third form of the verb. So, for instance, Meghna has given one example where she has written, I have done my work, right? So, when we use has or have, and after that, we use the third form of a verb, that is called present perfect tense, okay? And I think a lot of you would be aware of that, but today's session is where exactly we use present perfect tense. That's what we are going to learn today. So, the first place where we use present perfect tense is to talk about recent events. Okay. For example, right now it's 8:50 p.m. And if I ask you guys, have you in the comment section, have you eaten dinner? Some people also say it, have you had dinner? I think I lost my yes. So some people also say it, have you had dinner? Or have we saying that? We are saying that because I have had dinner recently. Is my connection fine? Because I'm getting a message that there's some issue with my connection. Is it fine? You guys can hear me and can see me properly, right? Yes. So I have had my dinner, Sudhakar has said, and Venki has also said I've had my dinner. Perfect. So I'm talking about, or I'm using present perfect tense here because dinner is recent, right? For instance, it's 8:50 p.m. So I must have had dinner recently. For breakfast, I cannot say have you had breakfast right now at 8:50 p.m. because I had breakfast in the morning, which is not recent, right? So that is a place where we use present perfect tense. Now, one thing that we need to note here is that recent, I mean, the word recent depends on the situation. So we have our general meals 3 times a day. We have breakfast, we have lunch, we have dinner. So dinner is the most recent meal, right? So that's why I cannot say, have you had breakfast right now at night? But suppose a sentence is, I have bought a house. That's a sentence. I have bought a house. Okay. And let's assume that I bought a house 1 month back. All right. Let's assume I bought a house 1 month back. And if I say I is also recent because it's regularly, that's why 1 month is also recent for this, and that's why we use present perfect tense. Okay. So the word recent would depend on the situation. For dinner, obviously, if you had dinner 1 hour back or 2 hours back, that is recent. But for buying house, recent can be 1 month back also. All right. Another example can be I have shifted to Mumbai. Okay. I have shifted to Mumbai. So suppose I live in Delhi. I have lived in Delhi for 20 years, let's assume. Then if I shift to Mumbai, I would say I have shifted to Mumbai. And suppose I shifted to Mumbai, I don't know, 2 months back, or I shifted to Mumbai 1 week back. That is also recent because we don't keep shifting on a regular basis, right? That's something that is unusual, and that's why that is also a recent situation. So 1 week or 2 months or 1 month would also be recent if we are talking about shifting to a new place. I hope that makes sense. So we just have to remember that when we use present perfect tense, uh, that is mostly used for recent events, something that happened recently in the past, but is still relevant in the present. And recency depends on the situation. All right. That a lot of people know. The next place where so before we move on, in fact, yes, so we have got a comment where the sentence is, I have just completed my task. So absolutely, this is right, because we are talking about something that happened recently, right? Now, let's try to make some sentences with present perfect tense, and the area where we have to make sentences in is recent past. Okay, so I would like to see some sentences in the comment section, in the chat. So let's make some sentences, and then we'll move on to the next use of present perfect tense. So can you guys try to make some sentences where we talk about recent past, something that has happened recently? All right. So I'll keep waiting for your sentences. Meanwhile, I would go on to the next section, the next place where we use present perfect tense. Simran has made a sentence. I have just finished my workshop. Absolutely right, because the word just makes it clear that it happened recently. I have just finished my meal. Yes, Chanchal, absolutely right. But just remember that we don't need to always use the word just, okay? I mean, obviously, just shows that it happened recently, but you can also say, I have had dinner or I have eaten dinner, okay? I have just had dinner is also right, obviously, but you don't need to always mention just, okay? I have realized that I have to. Yes, absolutely right. I have reached Hyderabad. Venki has made this sentence. So if you reached Hyderabad recently, then you might make this sentence. All right. The next place where we use present perfect tense is to talk about your experiences till now. Okay. Your experiences till now. For example, I have gone to Goa 4 times in my life. Okay. I have gone to Goa 4 times in my life. That means till now, my experience is that I have gone to Goa 4 times. So if you are talking about your experience till now, that's where we use present perfect tense. Another example is I have taught English to more than 100 students. I have taught English to more than 100 students. That means till now, I might teach more students in future. I'm teaching more students now, but till now, my experience till now in my life is that I have taught English to more than 100 students. So if you talk about your experience till now, whatever experience you want to talk about, then for that also we use present perfect tense. All right. So these are the two examples that would make it clear. I have taught English to more than 100 students, and I have gone to Goa 4 times in my life. Okay, Chanchal has made a sentence. I have taught in a college for 6 years. Yes, yes. So she's still teaching in that college, maybe because she's talking about her experience till now. So I have taught in a college for 6 years. Correct. Let's make some more sentences with this example. I have been Taj Mahal. You have not been Taj Mahal. I have been to Taj Mahal, or I've been to Agra. I've seen Taj Mahal would be better. I've been to Agra, or I have seen Taj Mahal. I have seen Taj Mahal means that in my life till now, I have seen Taj Mahal. So again, so just look at this sentence, okay? I have seen Taj Mahal. So it depends on the situation. It can mean that you have recently seen Taj Mahal. Let's assume that you went to Agra the day before yesterday, 2 days back. Then you can say, I have seen Taj Mahal. Okay, that means just 2 days back you saw the Taj Mahal, right? But it also means, it might mean in a situation that you just want to say, in my life I've already seen Taj Mahal. So you might be talking about your experience till now. So this sentence can mean both the things. It just depends on the situation, what you mean to say. All right. Now, the most difficult, or the most common confusion where people get confused about in present perfect tense is when to use simple past tense and when to use present perfect tense. Okay, so present perfect tense is also used to talk about recent past. Simple past is also used to talk about past. An example is, I have finished my dinner. Okay, I have finished my dinner. Another sentence is, I finished my dinner. Now, when do we use what? When do I say I have finished my dinner? That means it happened recently. And when do I say when do I say I finished my dinner? That's past, right? I finished my dinner. And I have finished my dinner. What's the difference between these two sentences? Can somebody tell me in the comments? We'll wait for that. Simran, you want to write, I have taken my breakfast. I done is wrong, right? I have taken. Hi, Sangeeta. Yes, so what's the difference between these two sentences? I have uh, finished my dinner, or I finished my dinner. Okay, so both the sentences are used to talk about the past. Just remember that simple past can be used to talk about any kind of past event, right? It can be a recent past event. It can be a distant past event. Okay, so simple past can be used to talk about any event in the past, but present perfect is used to talk about only a recent event. Correct? Now we have to, let's take the sentence as an example. I have finished my dinner at 8 p.m. I have finished my dinner at 8 p.m. This sentence, in fact, is incorrect. This sentence is wrong, because when we want to talk about time, when we are focusing on the time, then we have to use simple past. Okay, for the same situation, for a recent past event, if you want to focus on the time, then you would say, I finished my dinner at 8 p.m. I finished my dinner at 8 p.m. But if you don't want to focus on the time, you just want to focus on the action, then you would say, I have finished my dinner. All right, I have finished my dinner. Another example would be, I have bought a house. All right, I'm just focusing on the action. I have bought a house. That means I have recently bought a house, right? But if you want to focus on the time, you would say, I bought a house the last week. Right? I bought a house the last week, not I have. So if you say I have bought a house the last week, that sentence becomes wrong. That sentence becomes incorrect. And the reason is that when we are focusing on the time, then we use simple past. So I would say I bought a house the last week. But if you don't want to say the last week, then you can say I have bought a house. That sentence is right. Correct. All right. Okay. So that's the difference between present perfect and simple past. One common confusion, which I would just clarify before we end this live session on present perfect tense, is that when we are using the third form of the verb after have or has, then that is present perfect tense. For example, I have done my work. Right? I have done my work. So after have, I'm using done, which is the third form of do. Do, did, done, right? So that is present perfect tense. If you are not using a verb, if you're just saying, I have a pen, or I have a notebook, I have a pen, I have a notebook, when you are not using a verb after have or has, then that sentence is in simple present tense. Right? If you're not using a verb after has or have, then that sentence is in simple present tense. So present perfect tense happens only when there is the third form of verb after have or has. All right. And quickly, when do we use has and when do we use have? Has is used when there is something singular, something or someone singular. That means if there is one person or one thing, we use has. For example, he has woken up. He has woken up. And have is used when there is something plural. They have woken up, right? They have woken up. Plural means more than one person or more than one thing. The only exceptions are you and I. Okay, you and I are exceptions. With you and I, we use have. All right. So you have woken up is right. You has woken up is incorrect. I have woken up is correct. Hope that makes sense. The only major point, I mean, I'm sure it was easy to understand the entire concept of present perfect tense. Just remember that, or just remember the difference between simple past and present perfect. When do we say I finished my work? When do we say I have finished my work? You can say I finished my work when you focus on the time. I finished my work at 8 p.m. But if you just want to focus on the action and that happened recently, then you can say I have finished my work. Great. I think that was a short session. We just wanted to go through present perfect tense. And great. Awesome. Thank you guys for coming. I hope the session was clear, the concept was clear. And we hope to see you soon in the next live session. Bye.